Hey, good morning, guys. So I threw this sweatshirt on so Christina couldn't see the workout shirt that I have under it. Of course, I guess that defeats the purpose now that I told her. But so this video is on work-life balance is bunk and work-life counterbalance is in. And there's a big difference. I at first thought he was really just talking semantics, and I breezed through that chapter, and I didn't pay that close of attention. Then I went back again. I'm like, wait a minute, there's more to it. And I've gone over it like 3 times. I've gone over my notes. It took me like an hour to even get to the point where I could put this video out because I was just trying to wrap my mind around it. And there is a massive difference, and it is not just semantics. When you really look at it, if you're pursuing a work-life balance, I think you'll always be unfulfilled. And that's what he says as well. Because it's, first of all, it's unattainable. And even if you did somehow manage to attain it, you would never have the successes in life and the successes in work that make you feel fulfilled. So you should live a planned life, not a balanced life, and live a planned counterbalanced life, and seek meaning, and purpose, and significance, not work-life balance. And seek those in your personal life and seek those at work. And in order to do that, you cannot live a balanced life. It has to be a counterbalanced life. So there's macro and micro, and I don't think he used those words, but I like those. And with the macro, it's your work-life balance between work, or counterbalance between work and life. So sometimes you're tilting towards work where you're spending more on work, and then sometimes you tilt back over to your personal life. But it's not a balance. You're not sitting there in perfect balance all the time. That wouldn't be any good. You'd miss out on those extreme moments, like that extra amount of time you spent with your kids in the mountains, or the best vacation you ever went on. Like all that stuff, the more you get those extreme moments where it's extra time, that's where the successes are in personal life. And at work, a lot of times that's the successes at work as well. Like you have a project that's going to make a massive difference, and it's fulfilling and it's significant, and it'll change the team and change whatever. You'll never get there if you're just working the regular 40-hour week or that 8-hour day and then you cut off. You may end up working a long day. But then, so now you're tilted towards the work, and you're tilted this way, and you put it into it, and you had success and you feel fulfilled. You did it. And now, since you accomplished it, now you tilt back over this way, and now you're tilted towards your family life, and you spend some extra time because you took some away. So you counterbalance the other way. And it appears like balance to people on the outside, but it's not balance. It's constantly counterbalancing back and forth. And so that's the macro. Micro, within work and within your personal life, you're also counterbalancing. So within work, you're going back and forth. You're not balancing all your time between every project doesn't get the same amount of time. The project with the most significance gets the most time, and you really dedicate your time towards that. And then you can pick up, so you tilt one way towards that, and then you counterbalance the other way and pick up the slack that you left there behind. And that's the thing with work, especially, you can let it go and come back and pick it up later. Now with the personal life, it has to be really small shifts. Like you shift a little bit this way towards this aspect of your personal life, and then you shift this aspect a little bit, but it has to be small shifts because, and the way he said it is, time doesn't stand still. Like in your personal life, if things fall behind, you often cause irreparable damage. So you don't, personal life, small micro shifts. Business life, that's within it, you can shift larger. And I am, like I said, I'm going to be pausing this because this was tough to wrap my mind around, so I'm going to be looking back and cheating and looking at my notes on this one. The example he used was the ballerina standing on point. And I thought about briefly trying to do that on video, and not going to happen. But it looks like they're balancing, but they're not. If they stood perfectly still, they would fall over. You look at their ankles, and they're vibrating and shifting, and it's counterbalance. It's consistently counterbalancing to make her look like she's in balance. And that is the way you look at someone from the outside, and it looks like they have this balanced life. And if they're actually happy, it's probably not a balanced life. It's a well counterbalanced life. And if any of you have ever worked out on those little half balls or whatever, where you stand on them and your ankle, you feel your ankle shifting and counterbalancing to compensate. So I'm leaving you with these 4 things. And it's funny because I've made this video 4 times, and every time I make it, it's worse. So I should just really stick with my first one because this is so hard to wrap my mind around, let alone articulate. But one of the big things and it's going to be different for work and different for life. So it's kind of 4 principles. 2 of them wrap around the first 2. So never go so far that you can't find your way back, and never leave so long that when you get back, there's nothing there. And that's huge. And so never go so far that you can't find your way back while you're counterbalancing, and never leave so long that when you return, there's nothing there. And in work, you can go farther. You can go farther and you can still find your way back, and you can go longer and it'll still be there when you get back. But in your personal life, if you go too far, you might not be able to find your way back. And if you go too far, there may be nothing there when you get back. And so in your personal life, those counterbalances have to be small. You can't walk away from things for very long. In the business, you can prioritize one thing and leave the other stuff behind and pick that stuff up later. So those are, I mean, it's all pretty huge and significant principles that I just never really thought about before.